For all the latest on the SaWGuy podcast, be sure to subscribe and don't forget that bell icon.
Check it out. What's it all about? We're working out. Let's turn this party out.
Welcome to the SaWGuy podcast. As always, y'all know I am the SaWGuy, and you're joining me for a special horror unboxing. Some of you guys have already seen some of my collection. Obviously, you know, now that I got this green screen back here, you can't see it as often. But for all my viewers and my fans and everyone that supported the SaWGuy and the SaWGuy podcast, y'all have been asking me so many questions. How come you don't do a horror unboxing? How come you don't talk about your collectibles? Well, you know what? This special episode's for you guys. So sit back, relax. Let's unbox some of my horror collectibles.
Hello, and welcome to the SaWGuy podcast.
I ain't no fucking clown. That is better.
Now clear your minds. Who knows what scares you?
I'm just gonna bash your brains.
What the hell? The boogeyman is real, and you found him. What do you want?
I want to hear you scream.
Hell. Everybody loves popcorn.
As you all have seen in the past, you know, from previous episodes and segments and things like that, you know, I do have quite the collection. But I didn't gain it overnight. I really didn't. You know, I've been collecting horror memorabilia stuff since, you know, I was able to get my friggin' hands on them, you know. Around when I was 8 or 9 years old, I'll never forget, the first one I actually got was for my older sister. And, you know, to this day, I still have that figure. It was one of the original movie maniacs of Freddy Krueger. And, you know, it wasn't really a big thing. You know, collectibles, there wasn't a market for it for, you know, like the horror genre. There really wasn't. I mean, back in the 80s, you had, like, of course, the Chucky doll and T-shirts and shit that said that, you know. But if anything, it didn't really take off until, like, 1996, and then towards the end of 1990s, and then, you know, 2000s, boom, that shit was everywhere. So I've been collecting for years, and this is some of my recent haul that I actually, you know, found and dug through. And a lot of the stuff, you know, I'm going to say before I start unboxing, you can find these collectibles anywhere now, you know. My best place that I used to go to back in the day was Toys R Us, because they had special license agreements to where they can be the only store provider to sell this stuff, right? And, you know, now they went out of business, so other markets have been picking it up. So it's pretty cool. You know, they have more of the horror collectible stuff out there. So if you guys want to get into it, start now. You know, you don't have to go big, you know. I didn't go big. I started with one figure. But anyways, I know what you guys are all here for, so fuck it. Let's get this started, right? My first one, I know this isn't horror, but, you know, I had to buy this. I really had to buy this. It's from Rick and Morty. Scary Terry, bitch. This is one of my favorite ones, because I always told myself, you know, I love Rick and Morty, but the fact that they did the very second episode with a Freddy Krueger ripoff, and they named him Scary Terry. They even said that he had, you know, swords for fingers instead of knives. That shit was funny. But when I saw this there, I found this at, actually, believe it or not, I found it at Walmart, right? In their electronics section. And this is one of those figures, because everything has started now, where you buy one figure and they come with different pieces, right? And you buy the whole set and the series, and then you basically, you know, once you open them up and everything like that, build another figure out of it. So let me show you the backside. So the backside, you have like the Purge Morty, the Purge Rick, you have Squanchy. Who else do you have on here? And then you have Summer with that oddball head shit that was on there from that head episode, right? But anyways, you collect all 5 of them, and you can build Crumbopulous Michael. Crumbopulous Michael, he was that one character who was in that episode about the fart and trying to kill him because he likes to kill things, you know? So, Scary Terry, you know, this is one of my favorite ones out of the whole franchise of Rick and Morty, so I was like, fuck it, I have to do this. I have to do this, right? And for my horror collectibles, I'm not really, I should put a disclaimer out there, I don't like to open my stuff. As you've seen some of my collections in the past, I don't like to open them up, but if I ever get a chance to buy 2, then you bet your sweet ass, yeah, I open up one and I save one. I don't know. I'm weird like that because I like to appreciate the box art. I mean, come on, look at that, right? That box art is just amazing. Let me get my hands out of the way. Yeah. And see, that's what I love about it too, because it puts a timestamp to it. You know, you can look back at this and think, you know, 10 years down the road, like, oh shit, this is pretty sweet, you know? So, that's my first one. Scary Jerry, right? I'm gonna have a big ass pile, so if you hear things move around, I'm working with very little space here. I went crazy when I saw all this shit. So my next one, this is actually from NECA. NECA is, I guess you spell it as N-E-C-A-A, where is it? Or no, N-E-C-A, NECA. Various different names of them. They're one of like the main, companies that make out a lot of these horror collectible stuff, and they produce not just horror stuff, but they also produce, the recent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, what was it, Terminator. I've seen them do, Terminator versus, RoboCop. And I was like, oh shit, they're doing some pretty cool figures, stuff that I grew up in the 90s that was just like, you would never even think about, right? So this first one, this is actually the variant one, right? From NECA. It's the Gremlins. The reason why, or I should explain first, a variant in a collection means that you have one is a regular, and then a variant is like a chaser or a special, or, I use the term variant because I'm old school. Variant means it's going to have different packaging, right? So in the other one, it has just the plain cover from the Gremlins, right? This one has the special one with stripes sticking out. So I thought to myself, okay, this is pretty sweet. I like this. And then we open it up, right? And it's none other than the man of the hour. Look at that. Actually, you can see too much of my light. Let me get that right there. I'll have better pictures for you guys, because I know the lighting in here is a little bit too bright, but this is pretty badass. What I like about this one, Stripe was always my favorite. I had my haircut, styled that way for a while before I grew it out long and then trimmed it short. But Stripe was always my favorite, and the fact that he had the chainsaw and the saw, I mean, come on, SaWGuy, fuck. I had to get this one, And, looking at the box art, it's fucking really good, dude. I mean, like, it always impresses me how they do these box arts. I mean, look at the back, for Christ's sake. Wow. They put so much, artwork and detail and all this that you have to appreciate this, As I said, with these collectibles, for sure, I'm not going to take them out. I won't take them out because of the fact of, I don't know, I love the art. It's just so nostalgic, like to the original VHS boxes when you're going out there and, search for a movie and stuff like that, But this one's pretty cool, so I'll show it to you again real quick. Let me see if I can make sure that the lighting's not on it. That's pretty sweet, right? Stripe, oh man. So they have another version of the Stripe that he's a non-variant, right? He comes with like the popcorn and the 3D glasses and all that stuff. I like that one, don't get me wrong, but I saw the saw blade, I saw the chainsaw. Man, I got suckered into this, and this was like pretty fucking sweet to me, so I had to get this one, right? So that's my first one. Let me put this bad boy down. As I said, I got a lot, so you're going to be seeing possibly the camera move a little bit and things like that, and I apologize because I'm excited. I'm geeking out right here. Keeping in line with the Gremlins franchise, right? Bomb, right? Now, who do you think it is? I don't know. Let's go see. Open up the window. Are you guys ready? Are you anxious? I'm anxious. And it's Gizmo. Yeah, look at that. And it has 3 different faces. So you could do, where he's pissed off, where he's sad, where he's crying. It has the Christmas hat from the first one. And then even on the picture art, look at this. The picture art right there shows him all dressed out as the Rambo, I was like, oh shit. Personally for me, I've never been a fan of, Gizmo collectibles and stuff like that, because they made tons of plushes and all kinds of shit like that. And plushes, they're not my thing. I mean, I'll buy some pretty cool ones if I see them, but this one right here, I was like, oh shit, I have to add this to the collection. I mean, it's going to be, pointless to have Stripe without Gizmo, right? And as I said, the box art is just phenomenal. NECA does a great job with their stuff, They really do. Look at that side. And of course, you have all the disclaimers. Oh, shit. They actually put directions on this shit. Look at this. How to change his face. It's funny. Look at that. So if you don't know how to change his face, it shows you on the bottom of the box, which is pretty cool, And what I love about these collectibles that NECA's putting out is that you get so many fucking parts now. Look at that. Back in my day when I started collecting all this, you were lucky if it came with like a separate head or like a second piece, or you could change their face and shit or things like that, And half the time, those were the variant ones, so those ones cost more, you know? Which I should have said, you know, first place, is that variants, they do cost a little bit more because it's one out of every, you know, 10, 15 case packs that they sell. Usually they fit like 10 of these in one case pack. So if you see a variant, buy that shit. So there goes the Gremlins franchise right there for the time being. And let's get started with one of my other favorite franchises. Y'all know SaWGuy Day is July 13th. What happened on July 13th? I was born on a Friday the 13th. So, this right off the bat, I had to get all of these, right? Started with the first one, keeping in line with the sequels. Friday the 13th, Part 2. Dun dun dun. Right? And then look at that art! That art, oh my god, dude, look at that. That right there sold me after seeing it, you know, because you had the outline of, you know, the poster art, but then they actually show the fact that Jason came out and was grabbing a chick. Like, oh shit, like, you know, like the end of the original. So let's see what this one looks like, right? If you've never seen Friday the 13th, some of my newer viewers, I'll explain it real quick. Jason didn't come on until Part 2, right? He didn't get the mask until Part 3. So if you see this figure and you're like, okay, that's not Jason Voorhees, and you're new to the game, I'll kind of, you know, guide you along and, you know, sidestep you a little bit and show you. So this was actually pretty interesting. And this one, you know, this is the most bang for your buck, I think, out of all this, because check this out. Whoop! If I don't drop it, look at all those pieces right there. Like, holy shit, they give you so much, you know. Going all in order for everything. You know, I'm trying to see, you know, in the picture, in the camera. You have every single thing in here that he used in the film. He had the pickaxe, the pitchfork, the machete. It has him with the bag, the burlap sack bag over his face with the one eye hole cut out. It has him without the mask. It even has a head of his mom, right? Like, oh shit, this is pretty cool, you know? Like, I was stoked. And then it even has a little fucking campfire set. Look at that. Like, holy shit, this is insane. And then look at the art right there. You know, so it shows you if you want to build it up and have it for your collection. That's pretty sweet, right? As I said, NECA, they do a fucking fantastic job on all their figures. I'm impressed. I really am. You know, they come a long way from when they first started to now. They really have, you know, because they used to have the clamshell boxes and it was all clear. And sometimes, you know, you might get a busted one or this or that. And me, as a collector, I'm picky with it. If the box is fucked up, then, you know, I'll buy it for a deal, hopefully, and then bust it open. But for this, I mean, this is still in pristine condition. Let me see if I can... Look at that. It even has his mom on the background. And then it shows all the pictures of the figure, and they explain it. Then, oh, I love the side art on this, where he's coming out. Badass. You know, and it's got it on both sides. Right? Let me see. Nope, it doesn't have no directions on how to change the parts. That'd be funny. That was a weird one with Gizmo right there, but this one's pretty sweet. I love this one, right? So, keeping in line, let's go to the next figure, right? I have this one right here. This one suckered me in because Friday the 13th Part 3 was one of my other favorites. If I had to choose a favorite between all of them, it'd still be, you know, Part 4, Part 3, right? And the reason why Part 3 was so special was because it was none other than 3D. Look at that. You see him move? He's coming. And that's actually printed on the box, like, oh shit, you know? I was really surprised that they did that. They took the extra time on it, right? And, you know, to be fair, all these figures, they all cost the same price. You know, it doesn't matter if you have 1,000,000 parts for one or if you only had like one single part for one. They all cost one single price. And I was impressed. They really did do a good job. So, let's open this one, right? Oh, yeah. This is the iconic one right here. Let me see. Yeah. See, it has the, you know, the different mask change, right? And it has all the pieces. You know, I think it has the harpoon gun that he used on Shelly in the film. Let me see. Nope. Oh, wait, it does! It's hitting all the way in the corner. They put so much shit in here that you can barely see it right here where my finger's at. Let me move it. There we go. Oh, hold on. The lighting. Yep, right there. And then look at the box art for it. You know? Actually, let me get it this way. There we go. See? That's pretty sweet. That's really sweet. I was impressed with this one because I was just like, holy shit, like they, you know, these are really accurate figures. And as I said, you know, There's going to be pictures of these figures and everything like that, so you can get a better view and you don't see the glare of the lights and stuff like that. So if you see a lot of glare on the lights, I know I'm probably going to see that a lot in the comments. Just don't worry, guys. I got you covered. I'm going to have some good pictures on here for you. But it's interesting. They have, the pitchfork, the harpoon gun, the axe, various knives and blades. I mean, come on. Jason needs his tools at his disposal, right? And then it has the two different mask changes, right? He has the basic one, and then he has the one where he gets the axe put in his head, right? There we go. Now we can see a little better without that lighting. And let me show you the box art on this one. This one, it's not 3D on the sides, unfortunately, which, but I can live with it. I mean, shit, they put it in the front, So look at that art. And the same thing on the other side, right? And for the back, they kind of went a little bare, but I mean, that's okay, because they put a lot of work in the front. I'm happy with the fucking 3D. And the fact that they put in that it is actually 3D right there, because when this film was released, they didn't release it straight to 2D. They did it, in 3D. And 3D in the 80s was, you had the blue on one side and the red on the other, and then shit would pop out like that, But this is a really interesting one. I really like this one. And as I said, we're 4 down. We still got a fuckload more to go. Keeping in line with Friday the 13th still. A lot of people didn't like this one. The New Beginning, right? They didn't like it because it swayed off into the storyline and it wasn't Jason. It was a different guy, trying to, imitate Jason, right? But anyways, this one is Friday the 13th, Part 5, The New Beginning, right? There we go. The glare of the light right over there. I know, I'm going to keep saying it. I'm like, God, man. I know. I'm going to work on that, guys. I'm going to work on that. Let's open this one up, though, right? This one impressed the shit out of me, but I have some concerns. Really, really small concerns, right? So if you look at this figure, right, you see Jason in a zombie form, which you do see in Part 5 when Corey Feldman is like having the dream sequence and shit, and he sees him come out of the grave. And then you see, his mask from when he got, chopped up in the face on the eye and everything. What other one do they have? They have the one that kind of looks like Part 6, where it's a little bit more like a deep dish, like a pizza deep dish kind of pan. There we go. And then, the fucking thing that blows my mind is, why the fuck do you have this one mask piece in here, right? This one. Right there. That white one with the red eyes. Honestly, they didn't use that in the film anywhere. But, I will say this. They did use it for, promotional purposes and trailers and for the poster art and stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. Okay, they threw that in there because there is some fans that are really peculiar, kind of like myself, that we would want that mask, just to say that, oh, it's part of Jason 5, right? But what's interesting, out of all these masks, they're all, the red Stitch one, right? There's none of them that show Roy, which I was kind of disappointed on, I mean, I could live without the fact of, not having the Roy one as long as they did a good job, which they did, But the fact that they put the poster art mask over instead of Roy is like, what the fuck, man? I mean, that was the whole reason why I bought this, I saw it there, I didn't open up, which I should have, but I didn't. I said, no, all these other ones, they've been fucking good to me, right? So, I bought it, and then I get home, and I'm like, where the fuck is the Roy mask, man? So, hopefully, maybe they'll make another version of this, maybe a second version. I don't know if there's a chaser for it yet. I'll have to look it up and see, because I want to buy one with the Roy mask, and I know a lot of people are going to be asking, what's the Roy mask? The Roy mask is the Jason one, but he has the blue stripes going down on his cheeks instead of the red ones, right? That's how you know, which is, the dead giveaway in this film. But anyways, here's the side box art, which is pretty cool, because they made it look like from the dream sequence, mostly. I think the reason why they did that was because of the fact of this was one of those films that a lot of fans did not like, It was only until recently that they started actually getting into it, because it's a really good film. It's just the oddball one out of the series. And of course you're going to have one oddball if you made, 13 films already? So yeah, and I'm going to give you the box art on the back, of course. Pretty sweet, right? I mean, that's my only complaint on this one. As far as all these other ones go, that was my only complaint, was they didn't include the Roy mask. But, like I said, they might come out with a second one. We'll see. If they do, I will give you guys an update on that. So, keeping in line now, I still got, 3, 6, 7, 8 more, right? Keeping in line still with Jason, right? Here's another one of my favorite ones. Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. Now, I love this one because this is where they actually show that Jason wasn't wearing your normal jumpsuit like Michael Myers. They actually showed he was wearing, work pants and a work shirt, and he was wearing gloves, and he had a belt and shit. It was different, and he was more of a zombie at this point, and that's what's cool. They actually reanimated him, right? So, let's crack this bad boy open, and let's see. This one, I absolutely love this one. Look at this one. Look at that. He's more of a zombie in this one, because in the film, it opens up where you see Tommy Jarvis, he's trying to dig up his grave to see that he's actually dead. And, he stabs him in the chest with a rod or a metal pole from the fence. Then lightning, of all things, strikes on it, reanimates him. Which is pretty funny. But it's cool because they actually did, the zombie flesh wounds and shit all over on him. Then they give him, all of his pieces and parts and stuff. They even have his gravestone that says Jason Voorhees. Right there. I was really impressed with that. I was like, okay, I can live without that. They gave him the work belt. They gave him, the different types of machete, the knife. They made him look, I guess you could say, more of a hunter in this. Because of the film, how they did that. And let me show you the box art on this one. That one's pretty sweet. And then, this one, they kept it plain on the side, of course, because at this point, they're like, fuck, he's still alive. It's part 6, Same thing goes for the back, It's still really good, don't get me wrong. As a horror fan, I appreciate the art, and I absolutely love the art. And I always will love, the art of these, because it's a forgotten art. It really is, So keeping in line with this one, now we're officially done, or you think we're done with the Jasons, right? We'll come back to that. And now, we start on a new franchise. And, as I said before, we were talking about Scary Terry. Now we're going to be talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, yeah. This is the original, poster art for it, which I thought was pretty cool, And if I had my pick between Freddy and Jason, 9 times out of 10, I picked Jason, only because I was born on Friday the 13th. I mean, come on, guys. But I always adored the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, because it was different, and there were so many different things they could do with it, and they did great with it, Let me crack this bad boy open, and bam! Right? So not too much. I mean, they give him different faces and things like that. They give you, a separate hat that's not glued onto one of the heads, which is nice. I have no idea why there's a skin face of a woman right there. Kind of odd, because that wasn't in the original film, but okay, I'll deal with that. They did put the fact that he's like a mummy or a zombie and shit from when Tina was pulling his face off and shit when he was trying to kill her. They showed, there's the fucking telephone with the tongue. I was like, okay, they better have that shit. His fingers when he cuts them off, and then, of course, his iconic hat, all that good stuff, And then this is the art. I don't know if you can see because they really made it dark on this one. So, I mean, I love the art on this. I appreciate this because opening this up makes me look and think about the original VHS, The original VHS really looked like this. That's what I loved about this one. There was nostalgia tied into it, right? The back part, kind of plain Jane, same old, same thing with the sides, they just had A Nightmare on Elm Street, What I thought would be cool is if they ever decide to do another one of these from the original film, from Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, I would love for them to see a Johnny Depp character, where, you see him, pulled into the bed, and it has a part where the bed is, shooting up the blood. Oh, I'd be a sucker for that shit any day of the week. Now, keeping on with the trends of Freddy Krueger, y'all know that I have to have another one, right? So, a lot of people don't like part 2, but you know what? Fuck it. I loved it because the art was amazing. Look at that. I mean, it did tell the whole story of everything, how Freddy is trying to come out of him and shit like that. And a lot of people, they badmouth this one, but personally, I thought it was okay, for a sequel. They tried to go a different route, and then that's when they said, oh shit, that ain't gonna work. And so they went back to what they originally were planning to do with Dream Warriors. You know, we all know what happened with that, right? So cracking this bad boy up, you'll see this one's a lot wider than the other ones, right? And there's a reason. And I thought this was weird as hell with this one, but here it goes. Bam. You see Freddy Krueger, that's where he's, you know, doing the scene, "You're all my children now," right? But look, there's fucking bloodhounds, like dogs, hellhounds. Like, what the hell? He didn't have no dogs in this one, or at least from what I remembered. You know, that's why I was like, what the fuck? But it was pretty cool because they actually do give you the flame in the background for when it happened, when he was saying, "You're all my children now," you know? And then it attaches to the figure because look at the art. 9 times out of 10, you know, when you see the art of these, they'll usually come with all the pieces. Sometimes they'll put a little disclaimer saying, "Oh, it doesn't come with all these pieces," or "These pieces are sold separately," you know? But this one actually really did. And then I love what they did on the box art of this because look at the faces of the dogs. There's some weird looking kids on them, I guess. And I don't remember that. I mean, at least from what I really don't remember is that there was no dogs in this film. But nevertheless, you know, I still appreciate this for what it is. You know, I mean, just the art on it is amazing. It's worth every penny just to have just the box art too, you know? So, now I know you're all a little burned out on Jason. You're all a little burned out on Freddy, but no worries. I brought a chainsaw to the party. As in Texas Chainsaw, of course. Bam! Look at that. And see, that's the original poster art too, which I fucking love. I probably have like 5 or 6 different versions of this poster in every different language. You know, it's so iconic, right? And with this one, let's crack this bad boy open, right? This one I was really impressed. They show all the parts in there. Of course, you gotta have the fucking chainsaw. Otherwise, what are you doing, right? Then you have the grandma makeup, you know, that he did later on before they had the eating scene and stuff like that. What other things did you have? Yeah, the meat cleaver, the knife, of course, the iconic hammer. Wait, can you see it? There we go. The iconic hammer. And then, you know, it's pretty well done for what it is. I mean, the figure itself, he's highly detailed and everything. And all of them, they're all highly detailed. I forgot to mention on that, but you've probably seen it from the pictures. But anyways, this is the box art right here. Box art is pretty sweet too. You know, they show where he's coming out of the kitchen with all the skulls and shit. You know, that would have been cool if they would have included like the backdrop, but you know, obviously then they would have had to increase the cost or something, or there were some issues I guess with it. That's why they didn't include all that. But you know, basic art on the side, nothing fancy, right? And then the back part, you know, they kind of made it look like the VHS on this one, which, you know, I'm not complaining. It was pretty cool. And then of course you have the iconic look where he's like holding the chainsaw and shit. That was always my favorite. My only complaint on this one, I love the pretty lady makeup where he has the blue eyeliner and then he has the lipstick and shit. That is my favorite of Texas Chainsaw. I know there's probably going to be another one that they're making where he's in the suit and then in the pretty lady makeup. But, I mean, if I see that, I'll let you guys know on that one, right? Time for a little clowning around, right? And this one, I was really fucking stoked that they actually made this. And by the way, all these figures are all from NECA, but they did a classic Pennywise. And what I thought was so amazing is that when it was becoming popular, because people were afraid of clowns, they didn't really release too much of it or Pennywise or none of that stuff. It was hard to come by. And because of, you know, the It remake, it basically brought everybody into it. Like, they want to collect it. But how badass is that? You know, it matches the exact art, right? And the best part is, I believe this is the first Tim Curry of Pennywise that's out and that's available. But check this out. Bam! I was so impressed with this. It has all his different moods. His hands move. You know, it shows his different faces when he gets the battery acid. And shows him laughing. I love the original face that they stuck on where he's just kind of pissed and like, ah. And then this is a box art right here, which I thought was really cool, is that how they did it, you know? As far as the balloons, does it come with balloons? You want a balloon? No, it doesn't come with the balloons, which I'm kind of shocked that it didn't. Didn't come with the little balloons. But it did come with Georgie's boat. So, you can see that right there. Possibly. Yeah, there we go. See, it comes with Georgie's boat. Which I thought was interesting. But I mean, for a first time of Tim Curry as Pennywise as a figure, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, because I've been collecting horror figures for a long time. I've never seen a Pennywise one. If you've seen a Pennywise one that's older than this, please let me know in the comments below. I'm always anxious to see all this because I didn't even know if they actually did it. You know, it had to do with licensing issues. This is a side view right here. Same thing on the other side. And look at the art on the back. Just amazing. Just blows my mind, you know. And like I said, this is one of the main reasons why I don't open any of my figures. It's just the art is so amazing on this, you know. Continuing down the trend, right? You had the original. Now we also have the remake. And you know, this one I wasn't too fond of the box art because it's hella dark. I mean, you could probably barely see it because I have hella lights all over. But you know, the Pennywise from the It remake was really good. You know, I didn't give it credit when I first saw it, but then afterwards I was like, oh shit, this is actually pretty cool, you know. Obviously chapter 2 hasn't came out yet, but it should be soon, so we'll see how that is. That's to be continued. Let's crack this bad boy open, and sure enough, they didn't hold back on this Pennywise at all. Has all of his different expressions when he gets hit in the face, with the bar, when the kids are fighting them about the gazebos. I shouldn't say gazebos, but you know what I meant. He called it gazebos, but he meant to say placebos. But it's pretty cool. They even have a hair flipping one. What else do they have? They have just the different hands that change to like the monster hands and shit. And then, you know, the art, obviously, that's amazing art right there, you know. The side view, you know, it's just supposed to be, you know, like the actual movie poster. Nothing too fancy. And then the back I thought was pretty cool. They made it look like, you know, the 3 doors that you had to choose through. You know, scary, not scary, more scary, you know. Or did I say that right? Or no, not scary at all, scary and very scary. Which I thought was pretty cool. And as I said, these are all made from NECA. So NECA does a great job. And, you know, honestly, all these figures, they're all the same price. Don't let anybody tell you, you know. That's the secret. Shh. Right? So, you saw all those NECA ones, right? Now, remember I was talking about variants and exclusives? Well, some stores still have variants and exclusives, and it just depends on which one. I didn't know that they sell these figures in certain stores until I went into my local GameStop, and I saw that they had variant figures that I've never seen, you know, outside of, you know, normal stores, right? And I had to buy these because this just blew my fucking mind. Back in the 80s, they had 2 games for some of these horror franchises. The first one being Nightmare on Elm Street for the NES, which is badass because, you know, that's the actual cover that's on the cartridge and on the game and everything. Even has, you know, where is it? The NECA logo, looking like the Nintendo logo from back of the day. And as I said, exclusive only to GameStop. So if you want to buy this figure, check out your local GameStop, because I know for sure these ones are hot ticket ones. But what I like about this one is that in the game, it was the first Nintendo game where you can have more than 2 players play. You had to buy an adapter and you could play 4 players. And the whole game was you had to go and fight different parts of Freddy. His fucking leg, his hand, his head. It was weird, you know? But I thought it was cool because when you open it up, that's what Freddy looks like as the main boss. And then, you know, look at that. Even on the top part, it has all the health bars exactly like the game. Same color scheme and everything, which I thought was badass. And then, on the cover art, look at that. That's what happens when you beat the game or when you die. Like, it has that whole writing. And I thought, oh shit, this is so nostalgic, man. It got me hooked. And then obviously, you know, you had the side art, you know, kind of based off the game. And then the back part explains the game to you, which I thought was pretty interesting because, you know, a lot of people forgot about the Nightmare on Elm Street video game because it was either one of those hit and miss games. People bought it because it was Nightmare on Elm Street, but then when they played it, they're like, what the fuck? I was the same way, like, what the hell? You know, and then they had this little invention called the Game Genie to help you out, right? So that's my part 1 of the exclusive. And, you know, going into even more, this is by far, this is my favorite one. And the reason being is because, like I said, I was born on Friday the 13th, and I have Jason tattooed on me. But I didn't do just the normal Jason colors. I did the 80s colors, right? And the reason why I did the 80s colors is because they made a game for it, for the Nintendo system. some of you guys have already seen this, you know, as far as like the video game and everything. There's tons of YouTube videos of playing it and shit. But see, what I like about this, it still has, you know, the only at GameStop logo, and then it has like the Nintendo seal, or I should say the NECA seal that looks like the Nintendo seal. But what's even cooler about this is, check that out. Open the flap to play the authentic theme music. When I saw that, I said, oh shit, please, hope this works, right? So when you open it, check this out. Oh my god, the theme. That shit was just terrible. Look at that. You know, they have the actual bar, they have the head of Mrs. Voorhees, the same color scheme. They have it where you play the game and what happens, you know, if you die or if you live. That's so badass. Obviously, I don't want to leave this open too long because, you know, the voice box on this is kind of not too hot right now. But you can tell I left this open because I fucking love this theme. You know, so nostalgic on that, right? Then on the side of the box, of course, you know, the logos, of course. Then on the back of it, they actually show you what it is. And then look, you can even unmask Jason. Like, holy shit, that's pretty cool, you know? Look at that. Jason unmasked. Which they never showed that in the video game, which I was really impressed. And they have, obviously, the 2 weapons that he uses to chase you down and kill you with, and then Mrs. Voorhees' head. But I thought that was pretty interesting. They had all that, right? And I was just like, oh, shit, okay. So, and that's actually, they're all made from NECA, but those last 2 that I showed you, the GameStop exclusives, they're only at GameStop. And believe it or not, those 2 were actually cheaper than all the other ones I showed you. So, shh. So, like I said, I still ain't done yet. I still got a few more for you guys, right? Obviously, I'm kind of cross-minded right now. What should I do next? I'm going to do the 2 lower ones first, and then I'm going to show you the Grand Mac Daddy prize of them all, right? So, over there, going back into the Rick and Morty, I'm going to take actually this glove off and show you what they made. This is on one of the episodes where they made fun of Lucky Charms, and they called them Strawberry Smiggles. You can't get my Strawberry Smiggles. And then what I thought was badass, this is actually candy. And I haven't even tried it, because you can still see that there's the, you know, the taping and everything around it. But look at that background where it tells you how to have it. Like, you got to cut them in the middle to eat it. Like, oh shit, that's fucking cool, you know? So I'm going to taste test this too for you guys. But before I taste test this, I got another funny one to show you, right? It's Pickle Rick! Look at that. They actually made a gummy of Pickle Rick. And believe it or not, this shit is actually dill pickled flavored. I fucking hate pickles, let alone dill. Because, you know, that's like the more sweety, tarty one. And I can't deal with that shit. Ugh, you know. But for you guys, I'm going to try this out, right? So, I'll do the Strawberry Smickles.
The heck was that?
Very squeaky.
Butter. That's kind of scary. I don't know, SG. You sharpen these things too good.
And yes, Last Unicorn, I do keep all of my stuff sharp, just in case. A good soldier's always prepared. If you don't know who I'm talking about, go check out his channel, The Last Unicorn. He also does special unboxings as well. I let him borrow one of my, I guess you could say blades to cut open his stuff. And, you know, he told me, he's like, wow, you keep them sharp. I'm like, yeah, you gotta be prepared, dude, you know? So, opening this up, it basically, you took out the packaging, you push it out. Holy shit, these look like nerds. That's pretty cool. I'm afraid to bust this whole thing open. You know, it's gonna be rolling shit all over. But, let's see what we got. Alright, so, take it out of the packaging, pour it all in. I just pray that I don't drop this shit. So, I'm gonna try one and see how this goes. Wish me luck. Oh, it's not that bad. Honestly, these taste like nerds, but like super, super sweet, and they don't have like that tart flavor to it. So, these are alright. I mean, they sell these all over now. I'm pretty sure you can find these your local grocery store. I bought this actually, you know, at a store I work at, so yeah. But it's pretty cool. You can probably find those everywhere. You know, it's like novelty candy. Now for the Pickle Rick, I'm kind of nervous on trying this shit because, like I said, I fucking hate pickles. But, I mean, I'm all for my viewers and for my fans. So
A burger with pickles.
You sure you want pickles?
Yes.
let's try this out because I know this is probably going to be like nasty tasting. Let's see. And of course, there's the case. Slide it out. And it's a full-on fucking pickle. Like, no joke. That's pretty cool. I almost don't want to eat this, but I mean, I know I'm going to have, you know, a couple of my viewers like, well, you didn't try it. Well, you know, I'm like, eh. And the reason why I'm trying this is because I can always get another one, you know? But, oh, weak, dude. You know the plastic pickles that are like in the refrigerated section at the store? If you buy those and you open it and you smell that whiff of dill, that's what it smells like. Like, it's straight up dill, dude. Like, oh, man. Woo! Like, that doesn't look like, well, it looks like a gummy, but that shit don't smell like a gummy. It smells like a straight up pickle. Yeah, it's a gummy. Look at that. So, I'm not gonna bite into it for obvious reasons. I'm gonna pull a piece off and try it and see how this goes. If I can rip off a piece. Oh shit. Well, it's so sticky, I actually have to take off my gloves and actually bite into it. So, we'll see how this goes. Alright, here goes nothing. The fuck is that? Honestly, I'm gonna be straightforward honest with you guys. If you buy this, don't fucking buy it and like eat it. It tastes exactly like the pickles at McDonald's. Like, like what the fuck? If you're a fan of pickles, I'm pretty sure you enjoy it, but I'm not a fan of pickles, and this tastes like I bit into like a McDonald's burger with like hella pickles. Fuck that shit. Okay. We're done with the taste testing. We're done with that, right? So, as I said, I have a Mac Daddy one of them all, right? Now this one, I was kind of on the fence on opening this up because of the fact of its rarity. I've only found it in one store that I shop around all over, and you know, when I saw it there, I had to buy it. But the thing that sucked is that the box was fucked up. And, you know, obviously I did some wheeling and dealing, and I got it, you know, almost, I guess you could say 40% knocked off on the price. So I thought, oh shit, this is not bad at all, right? So, this right here is the 2-foot, dun dun dun, Jason Voorhees. Look at that. And it's not just any Jason Voorhees, it's the one from Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Oh, my favorite one. I really don't want to open this one. Eventually I'm gonna have to. I know I ran this video in this episode like pretty long, so I'm not gonna do the full breakdown on this one. I'll probably do a special one, actually me breaking it down. But I mean, look at the amazing art on it, you know? You basically have Jason Voorhees. His mask is held together by the rubber straps, kind of like similar to mine. But what's cool about it is that he has different faces, right? Damn light, there we go. So you can swap out the faces and take the mask off, and he has like all these different parts for his hands, and you know, it shows you all the art on the side. Like, check this out. Look at all that. They did really good on this one, and man, the side art. But wait till you see the back side of this. The back side of this is fucking amazing. Look at that. See, it changes the hand, so you made it look like when you get his hand chopped off from Corey Feldman, or Tommy Jarvis, whatever you prefer. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know, does it have a gravestone? No, it doesn't have a gravestone. I thought it did, you know. Let's see, what other ones? Obviously, there's the face right there with the machete. So you can make it look like he gets killed, like from part 4. It's badass, you know. You know, what's crazy about this is that this is actually made from NECA as well, but they got together, I believe, with Real Toys. Now, Real Toys, they're another company that make, I guess you could say, the highly detailed figures of these. With NECA, you're probably roughly going to spend about $30-40 per figure, right? And with this bad boy, because it's Real Toys, and Real Toys, they do like the detailed sculpts and stuff like that, you're going to spend quite a bit of coin on something like this one, you know, if you're trying to start out your collection. But I will say this, you know, these are not a dime a dozen compared to the other ones. You know, these ones, if you find anything like this, like the big ones, and this is, shit, 2 feet. Look at how big that is. That thing is bigger than me almost. These ones are like a diamond in the rough. So if you do find something like this one, be sure to grab it if you can. Like I said, I got a deal on it because, look at the top part. I'm pissed off at this. The top part's all messed up, and then, you know, the packaging, you know, it's kind of pushed in a lot more. And because of it being pushed in, for me, it appreciates the value because, you know, wherever I store this, I'm going to have to worry about dust and all that shit kind of getting in. And I'm not one to, like I said, open any of my figures, but this one, I'm still on the fence on possibly opening this one up, but I'll have to do it as a separate segment for you guys because this is just way too fucking cool. But hope you enjoyed this horror unboxing special that I've done for you guys. I know I get a lot of questions about the collections I have, and I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna go ape shit and just find a shitload of collectibles and tie them all in for you guys, you know? Because of the fact of, you know, I want to be able to show you guys that, you know, horror isn't just liking horror movies. I mean, it's a whole lifestyle of it, you know? Like I said, I've been collecting for a long time. And if you start off with just one, don't get discouraged, you know? It takes time to build everything up, you know? You guys have seen my collection before me, you know, before I had my green screen. I've collected those through the years, you know? I'm up there in age, and I've been collecting since I was a kid. So don't get discouraged. It takes time. It really does, you know? And if you see any of these that you like I said, most places actually sell them. The only ones that you have to go to specialty stores is to GameStop to get those last two, you know? And if you do see those, you know, like I said, try to see if you can shoot for the Jason, because the Jason one, I think, is a little bit more rare and special if you do see that one. But they also have other ones in there too. They had another one of Stripe, but it was Stripe where he was playing and he had like the video game gear and he was holding like a cartridge of the Gremlins video game for Atari and stuff. And I was like, you know, I like Stripe, but I bought the one that I already liked, you know? But anyways, guys, thank you all for tuning in for this horror special, and I'll catch y'all next time, as always.
Bow down to the